Hi, I'm Nadia Dumas. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Rendezvous. Today, I'm taking you downtown Fairfield to a residential neighborhood that's located between West Texas Street and Highway 12, Pennsylvania Avenue, and Union Avenue on the two other sides. The neighborhood is predominantly residential with single-family homes, some smaller apartment complexes, and a few commercial buildings that houses small independent offices and businesses. If you are a Fairfield resident, chances are that you have heard about revitalizing downtown or improving downtown. But most of that discussion usually focuses around retail on West Texas Street because healthy retail usually means a healthy downtown. Today, I want to bring the residential side into the discussion. And with that said, I have invited a couple of guests on the show who have taken matters in their own hands and have helped improve the downtown in the residential area as well. My first guest today will be Steve Hanley. He's a local builder. He's been buying up little properties downtown and building brand new homes. I will also speak to Rick Wood. He's a long-term Fairfield downtown resident and also the leader of the volunteer tree project downtown. My last guest today will be a new retailer that was welcomed to downtown recently. He built his studio that's called the Blind Butler on the curve of North Texas and West Texas Street. So with that said, let's go inside and speak to my first guest, Steve Hanley. I have walked into this beautiful home that is almost done. It's a new home built by local builder Steve Hanley, and it's on Broadway Street in downtown Fairfield. Steve, welcome to the show. So happy to have you here. What can you tell us about what you've been doing downtown Fairfield these past couple of years?
Well, we bought this lot 3 years ago. There was an existing house here that was probably 100 years old.
Okay.
And the person that bought it was unable to complete it, so I purchased it, designed this house, and went forward with it. It's the first new house I built in Fairfield in 4 years, due to the condition of the market and so on. But what's great about the downtown area is the fact that all the infrastructure is here. It's not like building out in the green fields around Fairfield. Yeah. Right here, we have it all. We have our streets, our water, our sewers, and we're ready to go. So we can take down the existing homes and go forward.
So I noticed when I was out front that actually it seems that the architecture that you have on this house kind of blends in with the rest of the neighborhood. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, that was actually a little bit of work. We have a lot of good examples down here of existing homes that were built maybe 100 years ago. And what I do is I drive the neighborhood, photograph it, pick the best pieces, put it together, and design a house that will match. Oh. The whole idea is to be able to look at the view of the street and not see the oddball new house. They need to blend.
Okay.
It needs to be contextual.
We were talking earlier, and one of the things that Steve was mentioning is this little neighborhood of downtown is so small that when you renovate or build a new house on just one block, it can make a tremendous difference for the entire neighborhood because it really picks up just everything around you. And sometimes it inspires neighbors to do things with their homes as well.
That's what we find.
Yeah.
As soon as we put up a new house, all of a sudden, the neighbors on each side they're starting to paint again. Maybe they're taking a little more interest in their yard. And it works really well just to bring up the feeling in our neighborhood.
Yeah. So what do you think is, because we all know we've heard about, improving downtown and making it look prettier. What do you think are some of the nice things about living downtown Fairfield?
Well, the best part is the fact if you want to go and get something to eat, you're 3 blocks. If you want some entertainment, there's some here. There's grocery stores. There's a lot to do. My son lives several blocks from here, and he constantly goes down and eats lunch at the local places on Texas, and it's really convenient. And it's something like the rest of Fairfield just doesn't have.
Yeah, that's very unique about this neighborhood and not something that you can reestablish somewhere else.
And we find that people have changed, and they're being drawn now to urban core. It's a new lifestyle. If you would have asked me 20 years ago if I'd been building new houses down here, I would have said no. And the reason being, I'd say, no, it's built out. It's all finished. The reality is today, we are not finished. We are now beginning again. This is a whole new era of urban core rebuilding, and it's going on all over the state.
And this area here actually has homes that are from the late 1800s, early 1900s. So some of them, of course, have deteriorated over the years, and that's where builders like you can come in and take down the homes that are no longer habitable, build something new. But you also have homes that are beautiful with old textured designs that you can renovate and make really beautiful. Driving around the neighborhood, you'll see beautiful homes, things that have been landscaped to kind of just overall make the area much more pleasant to be in.
You bet. We've done several whole house remodels down here. The houses had, which you've heard before, the term good bones. If they have that, we save them. We redo them. We'll put in all the new modern energy efficient facilities, windows, doors, heating, cooling, things like this. And then reskin the houses, new roofs and so on. And these older homes are really beautiful.
Yeah.
They deserve to be saved.
Now this particular home, Steve, if you could just quickly let our viewers know a little bit about this home. So obviously it's brand new. It's how many bedrooms?
It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. It's just under 1,400 square feet.
Okay.
It's a single-story house. It has a craftsman-style architecture, trying to meet the neighborhood. And the house will be fully landscaped, so it'll look like it's been here.
And I see you got nice granite countertops, beautiful appliances. So basically, whoever moves in here will be a very happy camper.
You bet.
That's it for today, Steve. Thank you so much for joining us on this show. I really appreciate you coming down and letting us film in this beautiful new house of yours. Thanks again for joining us on Real Estate
Thank you for inviting me. This was a lot of fun.
You're welcome. I'd like to welcome my second guest to the show. This is Rick Wood. He is a very long-time resident of downtown Fairfield. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit, you know a lot about downtown Fairfield. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of this place?
Well, since I live down here, I have shown some interest in it, and I've learned about the history. Fairfield was founded back in the 19th century, but was incorporated as a city in 1903.
Okay.
It's about 7 blocks by 9 blocks. Now, in those days, they would have called Texas Street downtown. Today, we call that entire old area downtown.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of old homes, a lot of mixture of homes, a lot of very mature trees. It's just, you look around every corner, there's a little bit of history you can learn if you want to.
Yeah. And talking about trees, this is where your specialty really comes in. So this guy here has really done a lot for downtown Fairfield. Rick, tell us about the Tree Volunteer Project. How long has it been going on? What are you doing? What is your role in this?
Well, it started before I retired from the city of Fairfield, where I worked, and it's about 20 years ago. And the city had cut back on its tree planting program. They're willing to fund new trees, but they didn't have the staff to plant them and take care of them. So a bunch of us volunteered to take care of the trees and help plant them if the city would support us, and they did. We planted over 120 trees downtown, mostly north of Texas Street where we lived. And we took care of those trees until they got on their own and watered them and take care of them. And that's what we did for several years. And then later on, we got involved more in maintaining the trees, like pruning them. And we got into other trees too. So it's gotten bigger.
Okay. So you're saying now the city of Fairfield no longer can actually supply the trees.
No.
But you still have the maintenance program going.
Yes.
So are you maintaining just the city trees, or are you actually maintaining other trees as well?
We'll maintain trees that people want us to on private property, especially where they're interfering with the sidewalks or the streets. You need to keep them above the street so they'll get broken by vehicles, and you need to keep them out of the sidewalks so they don't affect pedestrians. and to keep it safe for them. So we try to look for those things, and when we see a problem, I take a picture with my cell phone. I do my tree inspections or my dog walks, and I take my cell phone, I take pictures, and I come back and I fix what I find.
Okay, so can residents, if they do have a tree and they don't know what to do with it, can they actually contact you?
They could, sure.
Okay, would you like to give your
Well,
contact
I
information?
usually just tell people to contact the Fairfield Main Street Association because they know how to get in touch with me, and then if we have permission, we'll go on the property and we'll take care of the problems. We usually like to work on the ones that are affecting public property, and so that's what we're looking for. And I got a couple dead trees right now. I'm waiting to get the chipper lined up so I can get to them. Yeah.
So the Fairfield Main Street Association, is that also who anyone who wants to volunteer should contact in case they want to help out with the tree project?
They absolutely could. And we need litter control. We need graffiti abatement. People can report graffiti to be taken care of by the city.
Okay.
We encourage private property owners to get graffiti down as soon as it comes. If you go downtown now, you don't see much graffiti.
No, that's
because
very
it is really a lot of volunteers. A lot of the city people are involved, and we know eradicate the graffiti, and it won't come back, and so that's part of it. But litter is still a problem. Tree maintenance, landscape. It's an old community, and it's one of those things that takes a lot of love and care.
Yeah. Now, I happened to be reading the Daily Republic recently, and you had a letter to the editor that actually had a couple suggestions for residents and what they can do to help beautify downtown.
Right.
Do you want to give us a couple
Well, those
of
are the
examples?
things that I've kind of outlined is don't litter. And if you are walking around and you have a free hand, I tell people get a bucket, a 5-gallon plastic paint bucket, and a picker-upper tool, and pick up litter while you're going and dump it in the public receptacles when you go around it. That's the type of thing people can do to keep their own neighborhood. Business owners can take care of the litter control around their businesses. Another thing is weeds. If they're growing in the wrong places, kill them out, pull them up, whatever. If we all put our hands, bodies and hands and minds together, we can do a lot.
Yeah. I'm wondering, are there any help for, let's say, older residents who live downtown and have problems pulling their weeds out of their backyards, just simply doesn't have the energy?
Right.
Is that also something that they could maybe contact?
Well, we haven't been doing that kind of stuff on private property in a private backyard, but if it's in the public spaces, if it's right along the sidewalks, we're looking for curb appeal, and we're looking for just making the neighborhood look classy. As classy as it can be. And we have what we have, but we can make it as classy as it can be, and that's what we're trying to do.
Okay. Well, that's great information. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming here today, and I hope you enjoyed being on the show.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.